This is my first time reading in the cozy fantasy genre. It makes me see why people love this and why people don't partake in cozy fantasy. The scariness of that, like, I think that's very relatable. Hello everyone, my name is Olivia and welcome back. I'm doing a reading vlog of Legends and Lattes. We're gonna jump into the vlog right away so you can have the experience of me reading this cozy fantasy and give you my thoughts. Essentially what this book is about, it's about an orc named Viv. She's like worked as an orc and, you know, done orc things, has decided to retire and start a new life and opens a coffee shop in a world where no one knows what coffee is. So this is her journey on creating her coffee shop. So let's jump into the reading vlog. Good morning. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I got up early because I have to work later today. So I thought I'd try to get up early and get some reading done. Also, I am aware that, like, I don't know if you can see this in this lighting, I just have some allergic reactions going on. I'm fine. I have the most sensitive skin ever. It's the story of my life. It's happened since I was young. It's really not a big deal at all. So just excuse my face. So we're gonna start reading Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I'm really excited to get into this. I'll kind of let you know how it is as we go along. She's retiring. Yeah, this is fun so far. It just seems like she's just quitting a regular job, not an orc killing people. I'm excited. The prologue was nice. I'm excited to continue. Okay, so I'm on chapter 3 and I have moved to my bed because it's still super cold and I needed to crawl back under the covers. So far we've been introduced to our protagonist Viv, who is this orc, or yeah, she's an orc, and she used to like fight and stuff and murder people and all that kind of stuff, and she's just retired and is using her savings essentially to open up a coffee shop and in this new town that she's never been to. So it's kind of talking about how she's feeling being in a new town alone for the first time and how like scary that is. The town she's chosen specifically is like not like, it's not weird to have an orc around, like people know what an orc is, but it's unusual, so she does really like stand out, but usually people notice her, then they like look away and it's like fine and they just go back to their daily lives. But she's now enlisted the help of Cal to help her build the place, so she bought like a horse stable. Yeah, and Cal seems pretty cool. So far nothing like incredibly stands out, and that's not bad. But yeah, so far it's very cute. I like how it's talking about how she feels being in a new town and like the scariness of that. Like, I think that's very relatable, and it's just funny coming from an orc too. Not funny, like I'm not like laughing my head off or anything like that. I mean just like, it's, I don't know, it's nice to see something that we consider so scary have these really like normal feelings about moving and starting a business and the scariness of that. So it's also funny that no one knows what coffee is. But yeah, so far so good. We've kind of just met like an antagonistic character who could kind of mess up her coffee shop, or I don't know, just someone told her to kind of beware of them if they ask for money, to give them money. I'm not quite sure, but we do have like an antagonist in the story, in this cozy fantasy. Let's keep reading. give you an update. I am on chapter 20. I genuinely read most of it yesterday. It's the next day now, by the way. I read most of it yesterday. I read a couple of chapters this morning, but then I spent majority of my day getting a tattoo. It was like a 5-hour session. It was a pretty big one, so I haven't really read anything else. I wanted to update you. I'm just halfway, so I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm on chapter 20. I'm on page 171, and there are 254 pages. Oh, I literally have 7 chapters left, so I'm gonna finish this tomorrow for sure. But I wanted to give you updated thoughts as of now at chapter 20, reading my first cozy fantasy. So I see what people mean by like the fact, like I've heard people say that the plot doesn't, not that it doesn't have stakes, but it's what was I saying? Oh yes, stakes. There was an antagonist brought up, the kind of like the, what are they called, madrigals? But they're kind of like a mafia kind of vibe. Like they're demanding payments from all these businesses at the end of every month, and our protagonist Viv doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to give the monthly fee to them. So there's a lot of pushback that she has, and she kind of like consensually gets kidnapped, I guess. Or there's a meeting, but they like put a cloth over her head and like lead her somewhere else, and so she meets like basically the big top dog mafia person, and the whole like that's been up until the first 20 chapters, that's kind of been on the back of the protagonist's mind that this is something that she's gonna have to deal with, and it was dealt with like that. Like the problem was solved so fast, like in a very cute way. But that's the point of this. It's, you know, to not have you stressed about plot or worried, and you had that anticipation of like what's gonna happen when this moment comes, but it was actually like easy to get out of the situation, and very funny like how it was done. It makes me see why people love this and why people don't partake in cozy fantasy, I guess. I think for me right now, I like it. I know there's another book that Travis Baldree wrote, Bookshops and Bone Dust, and I feel like it's the same kind of vibe. I haven't read into it, but I'm assuming it's about an orc who opens a bookshop. But because it's so cozy, like I'm not gonna read this and be like, oh, I want to read something else that the author did, which I feel like happens a lot with books I read. But this is definitely something I want to read with read when I am really tired. So picking up a book that is so easy now is great. But do I want to jump to one of these again after? No. But I do think there's a time and a place for these for sure, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the relationship between Tandri and Viv. You can kind of tell there's something romantic going on and potentially going to evolve, but it's very, very subtle, so you're not like, oh my god, like it's not like a romance where you're really invested in that kind of way or on the edge of your seat, because you're not, I guess you're not supposed to be on the edge of your seat. I was gonna say if you're a plot heavy person you won't like it, but even if you're a character heavy person, like there's not much about the characters besides like little information, but it's still enough to get by. I will say it is funny, I'm a barista as like my Joe job. I went to work my shift yesterday and I brought the book, and I went like a little early, so I had like a coffee and was reading the book, and I was at the point in the book where Viv is teaching her staff like, or her friends, like what a latte is and how to make an Americano, and like teaching them espresso for the first time and like explaining it in simple terms, and it was just kind of, it was a little too much being in the coffee shop I work at while she's explaining it. But I think there's a level of humor because I'm a barista too. Also coffee, I don't even know if that's a thing, and I think I just say that, I don't even think it's a barista thing, I think it's someone who works in kind of customer service food industry can kind of find certain things more funny, or like customers taking up a table and not wanting to buy anything, and like all those kinds of stuff, and like people getting mad if you close early or whatever. So I just think those are really very funny and very relatable. As a barista, I'm also enjoying it. And I think this book is really nailing the community of like an independent place, and I think it's doing a good job with that. So far so good, you know, and I'm literally just whizzing through like that, minus a couple chapters, like that is all like yesterday that I read that. So anyway, that was my really long-winded update on how Legends and Lattes is going. Thumbs up so far. Alright, so yes, I filmed the intro as well, but I'm done the book now. I've now finished Legends and Lattes. This is my first time reading in the cozy fantasy genre. I get why people enjoy it. It feels like a comfort show just as a book, you know? Like I feel like it was just, you know, like I was watching Friends in the background. Like it gives that kind of comfort where you know the stakes are high to an extent, but the problems actually do solve themselves pretty fast. So it wasn't like you were ever on the edge of your seat. Like that took me a minute to get used to because I haven't read a cozy fantasy or something that resolves so fast. Like when Viv met the Madrigal, it was just cinnamon buns that solved the problem of essentially this like mafia person, which is like crazy. And even though the cafe like catches on fire, build it back up pretty fast and then it's like really successful. That's not like a critique, like it fits the genre. So it was nice in the sense that like you kind of always knew you were safe as a reader, even when it got like intense. And I think I would definitely read his next book, Bookshops and Bone Dust, knowing that that's something that I'll get out of it. Am I gonna jump to it right now? No, because I feel like this is something I want to save for like when I'm really tired or just want something short, you know? That's when I think this is a really good read. If you want something riveting, no. Don't get this. That is not what it's designed for. I really don't think so. It's really consumable, really fun. It is quite funny. Like the characters are pretty well developed. They're not complicated, but I don't think they're supposed to be. They still have flaws and all these kinds of things, and the romance in it is very subtle, very slow, and you know, I think, and I loved how that played out as well. I didn't feel like I was missing out on something. I didn't think it was thrown into my face. I thought it was very sweet. Yeah, I gave it a 4 stars on Goodreads. I didn't really give it a 5 star just because it wasn't like, because it didn't, I want to say because it didn't have me on the edge of my seat, but it's not supposed to. But I guess it's just not like a book that I would like jumping to pick up, you know what I mean? It was something I eventually got around to getting at the bookstore. So I think it's a good winter read, especially right now. It's January, we're in the middle of January, it's gross outside, it's cold. There's not even a lot of snow. I don't know where you are, but for me there's like not enough snow to make it like pretty, which is like the only good part about winter. So I think this was the perfect time to read this. It's just nice and cozy, and I got to read it in coffee shops. It's very fun to read in coffee shops. So that is my review on Legends and Lattes. I think you should absolutely pick up a copy if that is something you're wanting to experience in cozy fantasy. I think it's a really good introduction into cozy fantasy. I'm happy that this was my intro into it. Thank you so much for watching another video. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. It helps me reach more people, and subscribe for more. I post here every Sunday reading and writing content. If you've read Legends and Lattes, I'd love to know your thoughts, so comment down below. I want to start doing book reviews. I have a really fun kind of format I have in the back of my head of ways of like a series I kind of want to do with book reviews. This was like more so a reading vlog, but I would love to know what books you want me to read and review. I reviewed Iron Flame the other week, but I'm going to do it in a different format than I did with Iron Flame. That's going to be a bit more visual and fun and something I think you would enjoy. So yeah, feel free to also let me know your thoughts on Legends and Lattes and what books you'd like me to read. Have a great day and see you next week. Bye.